Hi, welcome to today's pro tip, less is more. So last week I did a kitchen rendering for a client who was in the middle of a new build. That rendering is what you see up on the screen now. Now, they already had a number of things roughed in by the time they came to us, so we were a bit behind the curve and somewhat stuck working within the layout that was already there. So we sat down and we mapped this out together here in the showroom. And when I finished this first rendering, honestly, something just didn't sit right. It feels cramped, a bit outdated, but it matched the house plans and the rough ends. So that's the direction we took at the time. I particularly didn't love this fridge location here. Let me pull up a better angle of that so you can see. So this has a blind upper and lower corner cabinet, which I generally try to avoid. Now, for those of you who don't know what a blind corner is, it's essentially a corner that has half or more of the cabinet covered, and you have to essentially blindly reach up inside of it to access the storage. So over the weekend, the client reached out asking for a few dimensions from these renders, and I pulled the design back up. But because I had time to stew on it, I could start seeing some better options. And now, as anyone will tell you, it can be tough to go back to a client and suggest changes, especially when they're already happy and ready to order. And in this case, they were basically good to go. Sometimes the last thing you want to do is overcomplicate matters by introducing new variables, but I just couldn't leave it be. So I worked up a revised layout and sent it over. And the nice part was these changes only required a few minor tweaks to suit, nothing too major. Let me go ahead and pull up the new layout. There it is on the screen now. And I'll explain what changed. So you can see I started by shifting the fridge into the corner, which eliminated that entire blind corner wasted space that wasn't really doing anyone any favors. And now that the dimensions worked out more favorably, I could scale back these cabinets on the window wall, which just made the whole thing feel bigger and brighter. And by moving the fridge over, we were able to actually increase the size of the island, which, as maritimers who gather around our islands, I think is huge, right? And what's interesting, I think, in this case, if you were to measure things out, we lost very little storage overall, and the kitchen just feels, much more welcoming, modern, and spacious. But the best part for me, when the client saw the updated renders, they immediately agreed that it was the right move, which was nice, but also quite relieving, right? But getting to the point, here's the takeaway. Just because you have the space to cram in a cabinet doesn't mean you should. Sometimes less really is more. And I think this kitchen is a great example of that. So that's today's pro tip, guys. Have a great day. Have a great week. Thanks so much. And we'll talk to you again soon.